Everybody, welcome back to Esoteric Wisdom. I'm your host, Cheryl Keaton. Craig isn't here this week, but hopefully I'll be able to entertain you. If you guys have any questions, which would be really helpful, you can go to unitedpaganradio.net. There's a chat box down there. On this week's show, we're going to be talking about Kundalini, extraterrestrial civilizations. I'm going to go over some yoga basics and Sanskrit terminology. We're going to talk more about meditation. I want to get into psychic vampirism and cutting the cord. I might reminisce on ancient Egypt a bit. And like I said, hopefully take a lot of Q&A from the listeners. Okay. So I've been working on this lesson plan, lesson plan and a flyer to hand out here on the streets of LA. I sort of just moved to LA. Like, I got out of a relationship, I thought about going back home, and then I was like, you know what, I don't have anything tying me down. Let's do this, let's go to LA, let's teach gurus yoga. Because Guru asked me and Craig a few years back if we would like to do that. And I was like, yes. And really, guess I wasn't quite ready. Or really what it was is that I didn't feel worthy enough to. But now I do. And I am handing out flyers on the streets of LA. I'm just going to start walking around like Christian missionaries can do it. Why can't we? They apparently get away with it, so why not take a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior yoga? Anyways, so I'm just going to read from that pamphlet right now. This is kind of the rough draft that I have going. Very rough draft. Learn the real yoga of the Himalayan sages with Mahashakti Anandini Ma's guidance. The ways of practicing yoga are endless. Although individual meditators or yogis may align themselves with a wide variety of practices or institutions, the goal is all the same. Unification with your true self, which also is to fully unite with Source. There are many different techniques to develop the skill of meditation and unification with Source. Meditation is not just the word that people use to say meditation practice, but it's also a way of life. It's a state of being. It's following your highest joy with no expectations of the outcomes of your desires. It's your truest, purest state when you're in alignment with your passion and bliss. Yoga Chitti Vritti Naroda, which means yoga is the mastery of the activities of the mind field. Then the seer rests in its true nature. First, I want to go over what yoga is not. Yoga is a broad term used to describe many things. And because of this, the West has taken too much of the physical side of yoga, as they have with most of life in general. The West is fixated on how we can grow and expand in a less profound sense than the yogis of old, which means physical greatness and material consumerism. This has turned yoga into a trend that has taken the meaning out of context. So the word yoga now seems to have two meanings because of this. Exercise. It is very important for the human body to get enough exercise. And this is also heavily tied into spirituality because, after all, this is our vessel. We use our vessel to connect to Source. So it's important to be mindful of this. Stretching is a great way to prepare for the meat of yoga. So it is a part of yoga. But in actuality, it has as much to do with yoga as eating, sleeping, walking, falling in love, raising a family, which are all important aspects of life, so it becomes important to yoga. But when the Himalayan masters referred to yoga, they were particularly talking about meditation. Not to say that all these activities can't be done while meditating. In fact, that is the goal of yoga. Yoga is meditation and mindfulness. When you start to do a regular yoga practice or a sadhana with meditating and energy or breathing exercises, your thoughts will fire differently. Your heart will pump your blood through your veins differently because your breathing will change, and you will vibrate on higher frequencies more often. With instruction, it becomes easy to meditate. A subtle difference will be that you'll be able to find clarity much easier to execute your day-to-day activities in a smoother manner. There will be many psychological health benefits as well as physiological benefits, psychological benefits. Meditation brings healing for a plethora of different challenges one may face in one's life. Yoga is about finding and following your joy, being as happy as you can while being purposeful in this life, being a master at change, at challenge, at going with the flow, finding solutions and making life fun. It is about finding peace and happiness and creating a wonderful life. The role of a guru. Many times people have said that they have tried meditation and didn't really feel anything. That's because they did not have the proper guidance. Some people even deny the role of a guru. Meditation and mindfulness, or witnessing, is a very important aspect of our life. You could say that it's more important than many things we find ourselves preoccupied with. If you ask somebody if they think that they should be responsible enough to drive a car for the first time without any guidance from anyone, they would not advise it. As easy as driving is, you still need a teacher. There's no shame in asking somebody who has already achieved unification with Source to help you also achieve that state. There's also an added factor that many people may not believe, but I've experienced it to be very true. There is a astropathic, my guru calls it, connection that we have with everybody, whether it be a guru or a friend. We tune into whoever we connect with simply by thinking about them, and will experience a similar energy and a similar state of mind as they have. We subtly change according to the people we connect with because of the nature of consciousness. A master of one's mind has learned to amplify these techniques using this way of connecting. So, without trying, she has become a beacon of meditative bliss. All you have to do is think about the guru while you're doing your meditation, and her state of mind will become contagious. She can also facilitate the activation of energy within us known as Shakti and Kundalini. This convergence is known as Shaktipat. It doesn't matter the distance or if she's aware of doing this herself. All you have to do is think of her, and you will feel your energy begin to do what her energy is doing. Shakti Kundalini. Shakti is energy. Everyone has their own Shakti. In these times when culture has conditioned us to lack self-love, we have closed off certain energy pathways. Energy is important to all aspects of our mind, body, and soul. We are all made up of energy. On a less physical, more astral plane, which is a higher level of consciousness, we have energy nadis running throughout us, like an energy nervous system from a higher level of density or dimension that governs our body in ways that lead to our overall well-being, sanity, or happiness. These subtle energy currents in our bodies have been shut down for millennia because of the Dark Ages. Many people have blockages. So, Kundalini is when Shakti has become channeled into your energy channels. The different types of yoga. all yoga is Kundalini yoga, essentially, because you're using it for the main goal, which is to awaken Kundalini. You may use many different techniques and ideas from many different traditions and even create your own system, but the goal is still the same. The Bhagavad Gita. Most practices are mainly based off the book, the Bhagavad Gita, which is just 2 chapters of an epic book called Mahabharata that tells a story of the warring kingdoms of India leading up to the Kurukshetra war. This was the time that Krishna, an avatar, chose to incarnate on earth. When the strongest fighter, Arjuna, who was on the side of virtue, threw down his bow and refused to fight because he could not bear to kill his beloved great uncle, the commander of the opposing army, who was truly a saint among saints, but simply fighting for the wrong side because of an oath he swore. So the Bhagavad Gita is about Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna tries to convince Arjuna to kill Bhishma, his other teachers and family whom he cares for. While the war was waiting on Krishna to blow the calm, Krishna had to convince Arjuna before he would pick up his bow again and kill his beloved grandsire. So Krishna explained as Arjuna asked questions until every single thing about life and humanity was fully explained. This is the great sermon that took place that day on the Kurukshetra battlefield called the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So yeah, I think we have a couple questions. Let's see. So, yeah. What happens when Kundalini activates and you're not ready for it? Well, I don't really think there's a such thing as not being ready for it. I think that we all choose to awaken in the ways that we do, even if it's an improper awakening. That's still a choice from, the higher level. So the struggles that you might go through, the pitfalls that you might run into, is something that, the experience is worthy to your soul, or your soul wouldn't have chosen it. But either way, there is a such thing as improper Kundalini activation. Not improper, but what they call premature, or where it's unintegrated. So you activate your Kundalini, and because you still have major blockages in your chakras, it goes hitting those blockages pretty hard and causes some, you could say astral corrosion to your physical and mental well-being, because all your body, mind, and soul is connected as one. Your chakra system is just like, it's kind of like the material representation of that. If there were to be a material representation, it would look like colored orbs, I don't know. You know what I mean? Coming into the physical. So your chakras pretty much project your entire physical reality and your mental and psychological well-being. So when you have an improper Kundalini awakening, it's because you are holding on to beliefs and ideas that do not serve you. And those beliefs and ideas are causing, it can cause your fight or fright mechanism to kick in, causing anxiety, fear, causing you to push things away that are good for you, causing you to be in resistance to that Kundalini energy flow. And when you're in resistance to it, it hurts. If you're not in resistance, which unfortunately most people are, but when I experienced my first Kundalini awakening, it fully awoken. I had pretty much my core belief, one core belief was tying all the other beliefs down, and it had to do with my self-worth. And I kind of just realized, along with the fact that, other people are so worthy and beautiful, and my compassion for them, along with my forgiveness for myself, allowed me to break that hold, I guess, on the heart. So I fully activated all of my Kundalini, and I went into Samadhi, which is like nirvana. And that lasted for at least a year. It lasted probably longer than a year, but it started to go down. So it kind of slowly rose up to a very high state, and then very slowly over the next couple of years came back down. And the reason why my Kundalini closed, and this is what people don't understand about Kundalini. They're like, yep, it's turned on. We're done here. You know, back it up. It doesn't work like that. You can turn your Kundalini on and turn it right back off. You can awaken to the heart and then close it off. You can awaken all the way, close it off. Some people awaken it prematurely or incorrectly, and they end up in the insane asylum. They end up having psychotic shock because the truth that's coming through them is so super integrated. So super, it's on such a high level that when it picks you up to that high level, shows you all this freaking truth about yourself, the next thing that comes is, oh crap, you know, what have I done? And they don't get over the fear, guilt, shame of the things they've done. So really all this is a backdoor for the belief of I'm worthless to come in, closing you down. It's quite painful. All right, guys, I'm going to take a short break. Please, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
My friend's
We'll
like,
make it.
my friend's like, I can't get this thing to work. So she's saying she can't get the website to work, UnitedPaganRadio.net.
Yeah, she's in the chat room. That Cassie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could hear her on my phone before, but it was buffering really badly. I don't know. It seems it works fine for everybody else. I don't know. We're encoding. Everything's fine leaving here. Let's see.
Okay.
Go up here.
Okay.
Yep. I can turn it up here on the website, and I can hear what's being broadcast. That's fine. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, I was just gonna, cause she said that to me, and I was just gonna hook her up with you and see if you could fix it, but I guess it's not gonna work.
I can't find anything to fix.
Yeah. Maybe she could try reloading it.
Well, she did. Now she left the chat room.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I mean, I think I got it. I don't know. I feel pretty at ease.
Cool.
More than I thought I would. So, yeah, she said it's buffering really bad on her phone.
I don't know. I'm checking all the servers, and there doesn't seem to be any problem.
Yeah, I had another friend that said the same thing a couple weeks ago, and he just gave up trying to listen altogether. I know that's not what you want to hear, though, because you want people to...
No, it's fine. Well, there's 22,000 people listening right now.
Whoa!
Only 2 people have a problem with hearing it. So, you know
That's
what I mean?
crazy. What the hell is going on? I don't know. Huh.
Yeah.
22,000 people. That's a lot. Huh.
Yeah, 21,824.
Okay. Yeah. See if I have any questions over here. Man. I'm glad I did it. I was like so not wanting to, but I just told myself once you get there, it'll be better. So just do it.
It'll work out. All right, love. Just about ready?
Okay.
All right. Let's do this thing. All right, hon. 3, 2, 1, go ahead.
Hey guys. Welcome back to Esoteric Wisdom. I'm Cheryl Keaton. Hope you guys can all hear me okay. Let's see. I was just talking about Kundalini Shakti, how it's contagious. It's not really that it's contagious. Well, yeah, in a sense that's a good word to use. So like what happens is I'm having Kundalini, and when I'm having Kundalini and other people are, you know, experiencing me in whatever way, the permission slip right now would be listening to my voice on the radio, is enough of a permission slip to connect you to me and feel my Kundalini. So right now I'm actually having Kundalini, which happens to me as some reaction to, this might sound crazy, ETs going in there and doing stuff to my cervix. So now, during certain times, I just have Kundalini. And my goal with the yoga that I'm doing right now, Sanhara Yoga, is to fully unite. So I'm going to be a beacon 24/7, hopefully. Yay! And yeah, you know, some people are Kundalini masters. They're born like Kundalini masters. Or you might say that they're a shaman or whatever. They have like more channels. You know, so most people might flip from 3 to 12 to 13 to, you know, 4 back to 3, you know, whereas a shaman has, you know, channel 999 and flickering through infinitely, billions of times per second, whatever. And, well, what, you know, some people are Kundalini masters just by birth. This doesn't mean that they've achieved a state of mental mastery. This means that the universe uses them as a beacon to send Kundalini out to the energy. You could literally be completely unenlightened and full of yourself and narcissistic and still be a Kundalini master if you're just born with that hara, like turned on and strong heart. So, yeah, what happens when your Kundalini is totally activated? What are we going for in doing this? When your Kundalini is totally activated, it's going to, well, I guess there's symptoms of that. If you don't have any resistance, what's going to happen is you're going to go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Nirvana. Everything is going to seem a lot better than it ever has. Everything is going to seem very light and free and easy, and it's going to be astounding that you'll see that there was never really anything wrong. So if you hit resistance, having a full Kundalini awakening, then you can actually have a lot of fear and anxiety come up because that energy is so integrative and it can make you ask very, very serious questions and look at that from a more real standpoint than you have ever before. You know what I mean? Kind of like, you know, somebody, I don't know, like thinking about something they're attached to dying and they're like, oh God, the implications of this. So your own beliefs can construe this energy in however, you know, whatever way. Other symptoms, I mean, sweating, shaking. A lot of these symptoms can be similar to just being really excited. In fact, when like a kid, you tell them, we're going to Disney World, and they all run around screaming, woo! They got their Kundalini fully activated. Even when somebody is lost control and is in anger, they're having strong Kundalini. You can feel it and it can spread to others. You got everybody getting angry. You can see that there's something energetically happening. So yeah, we do this astropathic, whatever connection thingy all the time with everybody. Doing it with a guru, or you know what I mean? Doing it with somebody with integrated Kundalini is different because your Kundalini is going to kind of do what their Kundalini does. You do take your own form. If you become, like if you catch Kundalini from somebody that doesn't have as much integration as you, then you're going to experience their Kundalini as more integrated. So it's going to be, you know, at your level. But when you're trying to get a step up, it really helps somebody like my guru, who's literally in meditative bliss 24/7. So, yeah, you know, somebody like that, you tune into them, it's absolutely unfathomably incredible. When you tune into a guru, the energy of that is so much stronger. Guru's energy can reach everybody in the world. You know, an unawakened person's energy is only going to reach anybody that's like right around them. But literally, my guru's energy can just reach out and touch the masses. I believe the power of one enlightened person like that, they have the power to change the world, because the higher you are, integration-wise, vibration-wise, the stronger the effects of your telepathic connection, your heart connection to everyone is. Where, yes, a lot of people are being very negative right now and doing negative things to one another, and the ideas can spread like wildfire. You can get something like what happened in Rwanda or something like this, but it'll be isolated and it'll die out very fast. If you have that many people that were enlightened and so utterly passionate, they just wanted nothing but the good of mankind, really deeply, genuinely, no other ulterior motives, but genuinely just that, and prayed and meditated. You get a few thousand people like that together, it's not just gonna eat up a city, it's going to eat up the entire world. And that's why I really believe in the whole utopian future. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, I'll wait for my list to pull up on my very slow iPad. I really wanted to get into more about this empathic, telepathic, astralpathic, what else can you call it? Connection. When we're having, when you're reading somebody else's mind, you're not really reading their mind. You're feeling the same feelings as them at the same time. You know, you can interpret that, and when you form your own words to interpret that, they might be the same, but the feeling underlining that is what you're feeling. So a lot of people think telepathy, they're like listening for a voice or something. Or I don't say telepathy, I actually just say telepathy, because in my opinion, or from what I know, all mind-to-mind contact is in feeling. Feeling is a higher level of vibration, of consciousness than thought. And even higher still is belief. So, yeah, we all share belief templates, feeling templates. And so, yeah, this kind of ties into what I was talking about. But I want to get into cutting the cord and psychic vampirism. First, I want to say that your connection to source is your solid connection. Your foundation is your one stream that connects to source and you. It doesn't go through anybody else before it connects to source. Everybody has a complete direct connection to source. So if you're experiencing something different than that, it is actually your beliefs. Now, I'm not saying that psychic vampirism is not very well and very true and affects us in this way, but I'm saying there's a way around it with belief. Pretty much, if somebody is affecting you, if their projections, if their narcissism or whatever is having some effect on you, it is because you're being convinced that it really has something to do with you, that you are really worthless in these senses that they're projecting onto you that you are. So you're buying it. And then there's that help, the energy, the hive mind process that's making that seem very, very, very much like somebody else is making you feel that. But it is you making you feel that. An empath, and people aren't going to like this, I'm just going to say Abraham Hicks said this. An empath is somebody who hasn't learned how to control their own energy yet. Stay with me now. Come on. Hear me out. Pretty much, you can perceive what somebody else is feeling. You can see what they're getting at. and figure it all out and do that in a psychic sense. But if it is making you feel all sorts of sensations in your body, then that is actually coming from your own belief system. So, in a sense, I'm not going to like this either, but in a sense, and this is why the Buddha said that your enemies are your Buddhas, for without them you can't become enlightened. If somebody else is showing you something that you have, that you're holding on to within yourself, then they're actually serving you. If you define it that way, you can define it that way. You could let it further condition you into believing that, into choosing to believe those things and feel those effects from your beliefs. Or you can look at it like, thank you for showing me that I was not loving all of myself. Now I know that I have some belief rooting to do, some stuff to work on. So yeah, empathic people, it's all about the way they're defining it, and they don't have as much control over their own emotions. So empathy is a sense. There's a lot of senses that govern empathy. We have a lot of like extra senses, and there's not just a sixth one, but there's like 360. And yeah, there's a lot of senses that have to do with empathy, but I think the whole, like what Abram was saying, an empath is somebody who's like, I'm so sensitive, I can't really be around other people because I just can't handle it. And I'm an empath. What can you do? Well, you can actually get to the point where you're handling that and you're a master of your reality. You can feel it come off of them, like, woo, feel that. That's heavy. And then find your center, be yourself again. And integrate that, ground that, creating something new from that. Share that, express that, give that new perspective back to other people. Changing, moving. Everything is change. So, yeah. Yeah. Telepathy, empathy, the level of thoughts and feelings, having the same feelings at the same time. The way Kundalini behaves, the way Kundalini travels through consciousness, through space and time. I've never met my guru in person. I've never had my guru place her actual physical hands on me. It still works. My guru is really big into the whole ethereal, astropathic thing. She's really big into this. When I first met her, she's like, nope, not meeting me is not going to be a problem. You'll see. And yeah, there's just something really special about her. When somebody reaches that level of mastery, they can sort of program, kind of like what I was talking about on, I think last week or the weeks before show, about self-hypnosis, how you can hypnotize yourself and program, make little programs in your consciousness to be able to do certain things. Well, gurus can program at higher levels of consciousness. And they can say, I'm going to actually enhance my ability to connect with others through long distances, connect through through dreams, and do this thing that I'm doing, reaching. She really likes reaching people in the West. It's so wonderful. She's so beautiful and perfect. My guru doesn't really say much as far as like, unless I just straight up ask her a question, she'll give me just the answer, one line. It's not about what she says, it's about what she's taught me with the energy thing and how I felt her energy, her samadhi, her meditation, and it's contagious. And this is absolutely amazing. And it puts you into a state of love. It puts you into a state of appreciation. That's why you always see people admiring their gurus. This isn't something they're like brainwashed to do or that the guru asks for. This is because it just feels that good to feel how they feel. So yeah, people who have a Kundalini awakening, if you don't have guidance, it closes back down. And initiation with a guru, the way I have with my guru teaching me, even though we, talk once every couple months, she gives me a little technique, I do a little thing and blah, blah, blah. But because I'm initiated under that guru with that state of mind, with her 3 streams of energy, all awakened, Kundalini awakened, united with Source. Because I have that, I am an initiate. And I've got to step up because of that. So yeah, the role of a guru is pretty important. It will make you meditate perfectly. All you people that say, I've tried it, doesn't work. You have a guru, it will work. It just will. Innumerable techniques will work just with the help of a guru. One of the parts of my yoga, kind of at the end before, I do my like witnessing or whatever, or at the beginning too, we think of the guru. The guru says, like, think of me, because I'm always thinking of her anyway, so I don't really need to do that part. And she'll kind of just come to me now, the connection will just be made. But when you're first doing this, to connect to the guru, think of her. Or look at a picture. This is why people hang pictures of their guru on the wall, to remind them, because just simply looking at that picture connects you to them. A lot of people don't realize throughout the day, when they have a thought about somebody, when somebody enters your mind really quick, that person is thinking of you. That's why you just felt it. It's really like that. And you might not really feel it when you run across a post of them on Facebook, and you're like, oh, that blah blah blah, just love them, whatever. You're really connecting with them. You're really sharing their energy. So this is how it works. This is how telepathy works. Yeah, look at your guru's pic every day. Picture every day, and it will encourage astropathy. Kundalini doesn't need space to travel. You use your body as a permission slip, but Guru's Kundalini and my Kundalini, or whatever, or whoever's being having the Shakti pot, both the Kundalinis, they can be thousands of miles apart, but they're still like one and the same. Strange how the energy behaves. It doesn't move through space-time. There really is no such thing as space-time. Anyways, so yeah. Somebody like Guru Ma, when she intends to help us, she does it with righteousness. And this really sort of burns itself into the higher levels of consciousness and allows this permission slip, this ancient technique to work, this master-disciple relationship. We're going to take a short break now, and I will see you guys after the break.
Awesome. Doing okay?
Yeah, I hope I got more stuff to talk about.
Well, we can wrap it up after when the hour's up.
Yeah, I just didn't plan. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
No, but we'll make it okay.
I can continue.
No, we're fine. We got stuff to do. We're good.
I can continue. Let me see if I got a plan somewhere. I think I already have plans of other things. Yeah. I was gonna get into some yoga terminology. Oh, well, yeah, I'll just do that for the last 15 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Do.
It's fun though. I like doing it by myself, actually. I think I prefer doing it by myself because my ADD allows me to flow easier.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if Craig's he might want to do his own show, so maybe we'll just split up.
Okay.
Talk to him about it, because he was saying yesterday that he didn't even want to do the show anymore, but he was being a real prick. He was having moods, so.
Okay.
When I have the Kundalini, he has it too, because I was with him for so long and he can't handle it and he loses his mind.
Nice.
Yeah. Been dealing with that for the past 5 years.
Alright. Just about a minute.
Oh, my friend Rebecca's like, it's really good.
Cool.
She might do it with me next week. She's a sweetheart. That's okay. Whew. So yeah. Oh, my friend Cassie's a sweetheart. He's like, drink some water.
Water.
It's so true though. Sometimes it like fixes everything.
Alright, love. Ready?
Yeah.
Alright, almost over.
Oh.
3, 2, 1, go ahead.
Alright guys, welcome back to Esoteric Wisdom. I forgot to let you guys know this is only going to be an hour-long show today. Because I kind of did everything last minute, and yeah. I am probably going to do the show next week with a different host. I think Craig's going to probably get his own show, though. That's going to be really interesting. Can't wait for that. So yeah. I was going to go over some Sanskrit terms. I already mentioned Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So, that is actually the first of the Yoga Sutras. Patanjali wrote up some sutras. He was this sage that lived in the Himalayas. He channeled most of the writers of all these texts, whether it be like Sage Vyasa, who wrote the Bhagavad Gita, was actually channeling them on the battlefield. He was remote viewing them on the battlefield and wrote all this down. So yeah, channeled content has been a huge part of our history. The tote that was channeled by Hermes is how we have modern alchemy. You know, so much stuff that we just wouldn't really know is channeled. A lot of scientists and whatnot. But so, yeah. Other words, other Sanskrit terms that we've used. Shakti is Sanskrit. I don't know. I throw in so much here that. So yeah, mudra. Mudra is a Sanskrit word that means hand gesture. Yantra is a Sanskrit term that means visual permission slip. There's like shapes that you see representing the chakras or the Surya Yantra or, you know, whatever. Let's see, the gunas. With the gunas, you have the triple guna. The 3 gunas is tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. Tamasic people are, you know, very selfish people. People who don't really want what's best for anybody else but themselves. People who are more animalistic. They pretty much work out of fear. They live their life from a fear-based mentality and are very negative. Rajasic people have sort of one foot in each world. They can live out of fear, but they still have love and common like empathy and really do, you know, kind of bounce back and forth between the two. And the Rajasic realm is mainly the realm of passion. And Sattvic is your, you know, say you hear something good about somebody else achieved something, they finally won the lottery, and you're just 100% happy for them. You never stop to think, I wish I had blah, blah, blah. So you're just a Sattvic person. You're just pure and wonderful and good. And you want nothing but what's best for other people. So that's a pretty important, I don't know, teaching of Sanskrit. We talked about Kundalini. Kundalini is when Shakti is channeled into your energy channels. Ida, Pimula, Shushunda, during more Sanskrit terms that represent the 3 energy channels on this off to each side and the middle of your spine. Let's see. Samskaras or sanskaras. This is another word for a type of karma as it's understood in the yoga sutras and the Gita and whatnot. And these are impressions in your personality matrix, I guess you could say. These impressions are there from, well, in yoga, in the Vedas, they say from past lives. And my understanding is that there's no such thing as past and future, so I more likely say they're congruent, simultaneous oversoul incarnation vectors. So all of our lives are being lived right now, and we cross-connect to them. So yes, it actually is true what they're saying in the Vedas. It's just that the interpretation would be that your oversoul has themes that it chooses to explore. And you cross-connect to your past and future lives to borrow information, integrated energy templates, integrated belief templates from where you've done work there. You don't have to do the work here. Or if you didn't succeed, you pick up where you left off. So you have to repeat the same karma again and again until you get the lesson. So that's where that comes from. And sanskaras are the impressions in your personality. So if somebody comes and they're just super defensive, you try to point something on, they're like, no. And they just have this relentless urge to just do that. Tirelessly, they just keep doing that. So that would be like something that's a sanskara. Or somebody has an unreasonable fear of water and they've never drowned. Nothing bad with water has ever happened, but they just have an unreasonable fear of water. So that can be a sanskara. It can be a negative mental pattern that you do that's holding you back. But it's really still a belief. And when you discover that you're just believing that there's some issue where it's not, because everything is neutral besides the 5 laws of creation. Everything else is based on beliefs, so you don't have to have any sort of reaction, and you can change your beliefs to get a different reaction. So that's samskaras. I really wanted to touch on that. Yeah. I love the word prakriti. Prakriti in Sanskrit means nature. It also means like the unifying force of nature. It's the dance of nature. It's the ebb and the flow. My name that was given to me by my guru, Dikshita, which comes from the root diksha, which means transfer of energy. So the fact that I have kundalini that can be transferred like that. Shaktipat, they call it. Shaktipat is another Sanskrit word that means a transferal. It's not really transferal, as I've said. Your energy is connected to source. Their energy is connected to source. But when you feel your guru's energy, when you feel somebody's energy who's having kundalini fully activated, then you're going to feel theirs. It's going to cause your energy, your kundalini, to activate and rise up. So it's not your guru's energy that you're feeling. You're feeling a copy of her energy from your own energy. So yeah. I wanted to go into extraterrestrial civilizations, but we won't have much time, but I can, a lot of people wonder what's, the difference between like Sirius, Arcturus, the Pleiades, Sasani. Arcturus is actually a star, and the beings on Arcturus don't have physical bodies. I mean, well, they, everybody has, all strings of consciousness can drop down into physical reality, becoming dense things, but their energy doesn't do that. It stays at a higher level, and they orbit around a star. So yeah, Arcturus are beings that live in the world of beliefs and feelings only. They don't have physical, like, voice boxes and talk, like, you know what I mean? But they all feel each other and hear each other and know each other and experience. They have fears and beliefs, and maybe not so many fears because they've you know, managed to vibrate pretty freaking high right now. They're really, really up there. So yeah. And when people say they're from Arcturus, they're not from Arcturus. They have oversoul vectors that are also living in Arcturus, and they're making cross connections to that. Can be other ways too, maybe not just oversoul connection, but most of the time it is. And that's what people mean when they say that. So, Sirius is all water. It's got a core, but there's just water a lot around that core. You can imagine what the moon must, or what they're like, what the other planets and everything pulling on that planet. You know, we have our own oceans and we know how the tide and the moons affect us, but in their planet, it's just nothing but water. And they have beings that are, you know, multidimensional, higher dimensionally, that live in the water. They don't necessarily, they're not going to choke because they don't live where they use lungs, you know. And then I think they do have some physical beings. So dolphins and whales and amphibious type of creatures. But like I said, their consciousness is vibrating at such a high frequency that they're seventh density. They're so freaking high dimensionally that they could literally in just a second completely reprogram our whole belief systems. They could come through here, wave their hand, and we would become enlightened. Like, they have that kind of power, but they don't really, you know. They like to help us psychically make connections and cross-connect to them, creating our own reality from the inspiration of those templates that they deal with and govern or whatever, cross-connect with, as well as us. We have a lot of DNA from all around the planet, so we have the ability to experience the belief templates of a lot of different extraterrestrial civilizations. These are also archetypes. This is also dolphins are multidimensional. People don't realize that they have a physical, and they are also higher on aware on higher dimensions. And they're also the other hybrids of the planet. Not just Earthlings are hybridized from extraterrestrials, but also dolphins are hybridized by the beings on Sirius. They come down and mix their genetics with Earth creatures, and that's why we have the adorable dolphin. Yeah, so cross-connecting Sirius is a wonderful idea. If you can see Sirius in your sky, meditate on it for 2 minutes. Don't look away from it. Just lock in, meditate on it for 2 minutes with your consciousness staring right at it, and you will make more connections to those beings on Sirius who are so loving, and they will help you. Yeah, I mean, you can do this with any planet that you're trying to connect to. You can just stare at Jupiter, or, you know. See, yeah, so Sirius, if you can see where Orion's belt is, it's the big, big, big star. It's kind of like Orion's belt kind of points to it. It's the brightest star around that constellation, anyways. So it's really easy to spot. So yeah. Sasani is a civilization that is, they're Earth hybrids. We're already hybridized from the Greys and other extraterrestrials, but the Sasani, those Greys, mixed yet again with their creation, yes. And so we have that civilization that's very well developed, very much, well, they cross-connect to us and send us energy templates through time and dimensions. So they not only exist in another dimension entirely, but also on another time zone. But like I said, with these guys, it doesn't really matter, since they're like, yeah, they can do this stuff with their like spaceships. Their spaceships time travel. Their spaceships are like an extension of their higher mind. So yeah, I could totally fill up more time talking about ETs, but I will say Shivai. Shivai is a greeting in Sasani, that extraterrestrial civilization, that means I am following my joy. Please don't get in my way, and I won't get in the way of you following your joy. So Shivai pretty much means get out of my way, I'm coming through. And this is their philosophy. Just let people be. Just let them do what they want. You don't have to change anybody else. You can support each other. Blah, blah, blah. It's a wonderful philosophy. Anyways, it's been really fun. I will see you guys next week at the same time. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Esoteric Wisdom with Cheryl Keaton. And yeah, you guys can visit me on Facebook. Cheryl Keaton Dikshita. Friend request me. Any questions are welcome. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Now go relax.
Yeah, I feel great now. I feel a little pumped up.
Awesome.
Clean and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, next week I will fill up the 2 hours for sure.
All right. Cool. Thank you, love.
Thanks. Have a good one.
All right. You too, honey. See ya.
Bye.